Hello everyone, Michael Ingledew from TDW, and I'm all about making you successful with your technical information, technical documentation strategies. So the next 3 weeks for me, I am on the road around Europe, Germany, Netherlands, Luxembourg, and then I will be heading back to the UK to do some more travel. And it was suggested to me that I should take you guys along and do some kind of road blogs and road vlogs and that kind of stuff. That's fine, but there's loads of YouTube videos and that you can go and watch of people travelling around the world. So what I thought I would do is I thought I would, from this Stena Line ferry that I was on last night, beautiful crossing. I've been out this morning, had a look. It's absolutely stunning out there today, just about to get into the Hook of Holland. I thought what I would do is answer a question that came in, and I thought I would do it sort of from different locations, but give you the answers that I think are appropriate. So this question that came in, and thank you for sending it in because it's a great question, is that, Mike, we're about to embark, or you're about to embark on an S1000D project, and you want to know the key things to avoid. So I started mulling this over in my mind. I was going, actually, that's a great video for some of the things that I see projects they either ignore or they don't understand or they just get wrong. So I thought what we'd do is have a little bit of fun, merge in the fact that I'm travelling around Europe for the next 3 weeks and then travelling again for a week when I get back to the UK, and I'll take you guys with me and I'll give you some of my top tips and some of the insight into some of the projects that I see going wrong. So join me on these 3 weeks, and I hope that I can bring you some beautiful countryside and sights as well as answering some of your questions. So first stop, I've got through the security checks at the Dutch border, no problem at all, apart from the normal where are you going, what you're doing, what kind of business are you in, that kind of stuff, and you try and tell people what it is that we do, and you see them glazing over. So yeah, I've been through the Netherlands, beautiful sunshine today, and now I have hit Germany. And if you've never driven in Germany before, it's an experience, and you have to have eyes all over the place because they drive like absolute lunatics. And I'm sure you've all heard about, you know, you can drive as fast as you like on the German autobahns. Yeah, and when you're driving a slower vehicle, you've really got to be careful. So what's my number one thing that I see projects either getting wrong or not understanding? Now, S1000D, there is a process behind S1000D, and we spend a lot of time on my training courses looking at the process, what the specification says the process is, and what the reality is. And you know, we drag a few boxes around and we look at what is inside all of those boxes in terms of what S1000D is actually expecting us to do before we even get to writing our modules, before we even get to publishing anything. And the big thing that I see is that whilst people might say they understand the process, they really don't understand the detail behind the process. And that's probably the first thing that I will identify quite quickly in an organisation. So that's number one from the Rastplatz here on the side of the motorway. I'm just going to have a leg stretch and then I'll take you, I'm actually heading into Dortmund for the weekend, and then I'll be doing a little bit more of this kind of tutorial stuff with you guys. This one, I want to talk about the art of modular data. So projects that I see often struggle with the concept of modular data, but they also try to approach S1000D with their monolithic mindset. We've done it this way forever, so we're going to continue to do it this way forever. So whatever S1000D says we must do, it must also cater for our monolithic data approach, which is fine because actually you can achieve your monolithic data outputs from S1000D. But the way that we approach our technical content is completely different to the way that we would with a monolithic technical manual. So often I see projects not quite grasp the way that modular data works, how S1000D then brings together that modular data, and how that modular data can then be brought together to create our monolithic output or the desired output that we need. One of the other things that I see projects doing is embarking on an S1000D strategy, but for the wrong reasons. The reason being that all they want to do is they want to achieve a simple PDF output. Now S1000D is much bigger than just a PDF output and being able to create lovely PDF structures. If you're not gaining any of the other benefits of using something like S1000D, I often tell projects to reconsider the use of S1000D. If you are not integrating data, if you're not configuring data, if you're not looking to use things like applicability, then maybe S1000D is just a big sledgehammer for you that maybe is not necessarily appropriate. So those are the other things that I'm seeing projects getting wrong. And it basically comes round to the fact that they can't drop that monolithic mindset, and they can't quite get their head around the modular concepts associated with S1000D. Okay, my next thing in the list of things that I believe projects get wrong or projects just don't understand is understanding where S1000D stops and where technology takes over. And what I mean by that is S1000D is very process driven on how we create the structures, we create the content, how we bring it back together. But for us to deliver this stuff, we need technology. So if we are publishing the content that we have created, we need style sheets, we need publishing engines. If we're exchanging content and we want to validate that content against our Brex, or if we want to use things like the CSL, that is where technology takes over and actually uses the S1000D philosophies and principles behind it to enforce it. And when I'm on my training courses, I have a nice little slide that explains where S1000D stops and basically technology takes over, software takes over. And this is one of the areas where lots of projects don't understand that it's not a magic lever, and S1000D provides you this capability to be able to actually do the things that we need to do, like publishing or transformations or validations and those kind of things. So that's my next one. I'm not sure what I'm talking about on the upcoming one, but we'll find somewhere else a little bit more exciting than my latest hotel room. But I'll find something very soon and talk to you about whatever it is I'm talking to you about next. So this one, I want to talk about having not a clear vision of what it is we're trying to achieve with our S1000D data. Often I see projects coming to S1000D and they're doing it because they think it's a good idea. They've heard it's a good idea, but they don't really understand why they're doing it and where they're going. What's their output from an S1000D philosophy and approach to technical content creation? So one of the big problems that projects have is no clear vision of what it is they want to achieve from using modular content, from using structured content, specifically when it pertains to S1000D. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about here is actually understanding what's going on behind S1000D and obviously the philosophies, but what are the real, true, genuine benefits we get from using something like S1000D? And, you know, there's lots of mismessaging out there in terms of the real benefit that we get from using something like S1000D. And, you know, you hear lots of one-liners like data reuse and this kind of stuff. There is an element to that, but that's also one of the weaknesses of S1000D. But projects really don't understand what's going on behind S1000D. So what are the structured language philosophies that are going on behind S1000D? And they don't understand the true benefits that can be delivered to a project or to a platform if you use and adopt S1000D correctly. So in that short series, I've answered, I hope, your question on the kind of things that I see people getting wrong, or the kind of things that projects are not understanding. And I think we're going to do something similar to this, but I've had another question on selecting software. So I'm actually going to do a series on selecting software and the kind of things that you should be looking out for in terms of selecting an S1000D software solution. So let me know what would make your list on what projects get wrong. Comment, like, subscribe, download our app, and of course you can always get in touch with me and send me your comments around, you know, some of the things that you're seeing around S1000D. I'm Michael Ingledew. I'm all about making you successful with your technical information strategies.